Good afternoon, Britannia, and hello to the rest of the world. Welcome back to 2CTV. I can see in the live chat already someone saying Maya loves the intros to create a suspense. Yes, of course, especially when it comes to important news updates. Surprise, surprise, ladies and gentlemen, we have corrupt bureaucrats inside the British Civil Service and specifically the Home Office in charge of our policing and borders. Wow. I am so shocked by this. So, we are talking about the latest scandal that's currently hit the Home Office about immigration and about those civil servants who are responsible for keeping our borders safe and closed, but in reality it's been the exact opposite. We've been talking a lot about them, especially those who are politically motivated. But in this video, we have an example of a civil servant who has now been arrested officially and suspended. I'm pretty sure if you're arrested, you should be expelled as a civil servant, not just suspended. But of course, allegations will be investigated, right? Because this civil servant decided to illegally tried to make a deal with a legal migrant, to approve his asylum case. And that's just one that's been identified. How many do you think there are in the civil service, in the Home Office, in the immigration department that are doing this? Let's give you the information first, and I'm going to get your reaction as usual. So, the Home Office. A civil servant asked a migrant who was currently based in Northern Ireland for £2,000 in return for approving his refugee application. Why? Why are we doing this? How do we not vet people before we actually recruit them? Again, I understand the recruitment process for civil service has gone much weaker compared to 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago. We already know, as long as you hit the diversity criteria or, you're a little bit different and special, you can become a civil servant. But there was a point back in the day when it came to British civil service. They were the servants of the state on behalf of the population, the British public. That was their job. Not to be political, not to be corrupt, not to be incompetent. And there was a point back in the day when the senior civil servants were on top of it. Now, if one person has been identified and now arrested, I'm pretty sure there are many, many in there. We've already talked about those who are trying to rebel as civil servants, politically rebel against the immigration policies to protect our borders and stop the boat. We already know that. We've already shown you guys leaked messages and emails that they've been talking amongst each other. And now we have to deal with this. Actual criminal activity happening inside the state. Now, the Labour Party are loving this. Of course, they are trying to take the moral high ground, pretending to be better than the Tories. Right. The issue we have is that when it comes to civil service, it's not really just about the Tories or Labour being in government, because the people in charge of civil service are not elected. We do not elect the permanent secretaries who run these departments. We have no say over these people. We cannot hire and fire these officials. It's supposed to be the job of the Prime Minister and the Home Secretary to monitor them, right? That's not happening. Now, Stephen Kinnock, the Labour's shadow immigration minister, has said that there were deeply concerning these allegations, and that the Conservative government had lost control of the asylum system. I mean, no S, Sherlock. We already knew that. What can the Labour Party do? What is Labour actually offering as an alternative? The Labour Party, in their upcoming manifesto, there is absolutely no indication that they're going to be reforming the civil service. There's no indication that the Labour Party is going to be draining the swamp. The Tories promised that. They didn't do it because they are traitors. The Labour Party are not even bothering with trying to give you empty promises or lies. Now, that's a whole new level of idiocy, because they know they can still get elected, mostly because the Tories are so bad that the country will inevitably and accidentally elect a Labour government, potentially, right? It doesn't mean that the population are supporters of the Labour Party or Keir Starmer. It's not the same as 1997 with Tony Blair, when he was popular at the time. The country proactively voted for him. It wasn't a vote against the Tories, but this time it's a vote against the Tories. Going back to the story, According to BBC News in Northern Ireland, they spoke to this. They said the intended victim. The intended victim, according to BBC, this is actually from the BBC website. The intended victim is the illegal migrant. Because the civil servant went to the migrant, said, if you pay me £2,000, I'm going to approve your asylum case and bring you to England, in north of England, right? So the illegal migrant is now the victim. I don't understand what's going on anymore. The BBC decided to call him Rennes or whatever to protect his identity. All right, fine. Let's do that. Let's go woke. He said that he was contacted by a worker employed as an asylum decision maker in the north of England, in their home office. Rennes said he received a call in the early March last month, 2024, where it was claimed that 95% of people like you have their applications refused, which is a lie. We already know the approval rate for the so-called asylum seekers is the highest in this country compared to any other developed country in Western Europe or even North America. The decision maker then allegedly suggested that direct payment would guarantee success. I mean, I love how brave the civil servant was directly. He said that I could be sure that he would refuse my application according to the illegal migrants. But if I could help him, then he could help me. And he asked for some money. He asked for £2,000. Also, ask for more. You got literal people smugglers in France charging almost £10,000 these days now, between £5,000 and £10,000 just to get on a dinghy. If I was a civil servant and corrupt, I would just ask for more than £2,000. It was basically offering me a positive decision, according to the illegal migrant. Now, Rennes recorded the video call that he received from the civil servant. Just pay the £2,000, you idiot. Just pay the 2K and get your asylum case approved. I mean, again, if I were a bad illegal migrant, I would have done it. I would have just paid the money anyway. Rennes said he targeted the most vulnerable people in society. What, illegal migrants? Okay, apparently they're vulnerable. The young, healthy, military-age men, not the women and children who are still back home in the third world. Yeah. He said, the migrant, there will be other asylum seekers who are going through the same process. Or maybe there are some people who have already been scammed like this. Scammed. Just take the money. Like, pay the money and take the asylum. I feel that this was my responsibility to inform. Actually, if I do joke, but clearly this migrant has got some morality. Decided to actually help the authorities. I was persecuted in my home country by the authorities. I was already afraid of the Home Office and other institutions here. Fair enough. Fair enough. Instead of paying the money, he decided to help the authorities because he was scared. Maybe he's one of the few good illegal migrants, right? Maybe he's a true asylum seeker. Maybe he's an actual refugee, right? So maybe the Home Office should actually help him. Now, going to the Lancashire Police, they reacted because the migrant was based in Northern Ireland. The civil servant was in Lancashire, trying to offer him this deal. Lancashire Police said, we can confirm that we have arrested the man on suspicion of misconduct in public office, suspicion of money laundering, bribery, and computer misuse offences. Officers from Lancashire Constabulary, alongside partners from the Home Office, arrested the man in his 30s in the Ramsgreave area of Blackburn. Of course, an investigation remains in its early stages and inquiries are ongoing. The absolute state of the British civil service. This is what we have now. And that's just one person who's been identified. How many are we going to have? The Lord knows. You should feature this story, another proof of the dangers of the failed asylum system. What story is this? Is the one I'm already featuring or a different story? We'll find out. Pauline says, this country was not corrupt when I was growing up. It is so awful to see how we are sinking. We have no morals since giving up on Jesus. I could actually back up this argument coming from Pauline because, now, generally speaking, in every country, every system, there's a bit of corruption, right? But there's a difference, there's a levels. Until a couple of decades ago, a few decades ago, in Britain, the one good thing that the English, especially the English, could talk about was, for example, public services in this country was always weak compared to Sweden or Germany or Japan. But the one good thing about the British civilization and the culture was that corruption was much, much less compared to many countries, especially in Eastern Europe, Croatia, Romania, and many other countries, even South America, even parts of North America, right? Even the United States. The Brits had the pride that at least we are the grown-ups, at least we had the good people in charge. Yeah, might be out of touch, might be elitist, fine, but we didn't have this sort of stuff. You couldn't really proactively do bribery and money laundering with the people inside the establishment. Now, I'm not saying it didn't exist. Of course it existed. We had Lloyd George offering honours for cash. We've had that before, but not to the level that we've had in other countries. Nowadays, the United Kingdom is sinking. We are having the same problem as many other countries. This is all thanks to the globalization of the world, where you literally we no longer have tribes as nations being the cultural nation that they're supposed to be. We are so mixed that we can no longer say that the majority are actually Anglo-Saxon in terms of mentality, not necessarily skin color, but in terms of mentality. The whole of the Western world is so mixed, and we are bringing people not just from the third world, but some of the places from the developed European countries that already had more corruption than us. So we are becoming all the same. It's becoming technically a level playing field, and not in a good way, in a very, very bad way. Nowhere Man says the proof of the biblical end times and the return of Jesus Christ, proving all other religions are false. Praise God and the Lord Jesus Christ. Maybe only Jesus could help us at this point. Super chat time. Religion says, I've been watching your channel for a while. Can you please follow up the arrests that they make? Seems like they're all bailed out sooner or later. Yes, I will be definitely catching up on all that as well to make sure that we're on top of it, hopefully, unless we don't hear anything from the establishment. Lego Lion 68, thank you so much for your super chat support as well. Let's see, because I'm slightly worried about how things are turning out in this country in general, especially with the new Labour government potentially coming in. And I'm not really even defending the Tories, because the Tories made this mess, but the Labour Party might make it even worse than it is. Right. The Silver Shadow says, love the 2CTV Plus web channel. I'm so excited to be part of the 2C community, to watch it grow from strength to strength. Well done, Mayor Maya. Mayor Maya, brilliant. Yes, Maya for mayor, one day. Maybe next month. I don't know. You never know. Maya, every time I refresh YouTube, you have a new live stream. Busy days. Must be over the target. I don't sleep. It's just best to continue keeping you guys up to date. Joanne says, keep up the good work. Your brilliant plan. Yeah, thank you very much. Although with the rise of 2CTV Plus, I can slightly sit back and have other presenters also fill in my shoes as well. So that's going to be good. But I'm not going anywhere, don't worry. Laurie says, also Maya, just watched a clip from Andrew Bridgen saying that the mRNA needs to be suspended. Also, not many MPs there, once again. And there was an almighty outburst from the gallery. He's a fighter. Yes, as we speak, over the last few minutes, Andrew Bridgen MP has been standing up in the House of Commons to make his speech about mRNA and the whole scandal around the side effects and everything else that's been going on since 2021. We will keep you guys posted. I'm actually going to hopefully get Andrew back on 2CTV to talk about that over the next couple of days. Ollie says, Maya has got a beatbox as a neighbor. Is there some sort of noise in the background? I can't hear anything. Oh wait, maybe it's my fingers on the keyboard. Yeah, I think it's the keyboard, isn't it? Yeah. I don't know what to do about that. I have to reposition my microphone next time. For now, get used to it. See that one? Yeah, that's the noise, isn't it? Jon Snow says, oh, I wonder how many have had amounts of money going into their accounts. Though considering one civil servant has been identified, as I said, I'm pretty sure there are more. But it goes beyond that, because even according to Lancashire Police, they are saying even this one person and one case, they're talking about bribery and money laundering. So this is not necessarily a professional operation, but it's not just a one-off accidental case, like one person in civil service getting desperate, for example, trying to make money one-off. It's not. This person clearly knew what he was doing. This person clearly also approached other migrants. Maybe a number of migrants did pay that £2,000 to the civil servant, and maybe they did get their asylum cases approved. Stealth says, I got a lovely letter from an MP today. I kept sending him emails about the state of our country and about other important issues. The letter is garbage, what I got. If only I could post it. Maybe you should, Stealth. Maybe you should send an email. Just hide your name and everything else. And we might be able to expose the MP. Why not? That's what we do. Sheila says, breaking news, Nicola Sturgeon's husband has been rearrested. Let me double check this. What is going on in the news? They don't even let me finish one story, and then they come up with more breaking. Yes, we can now officially confirm. Why not? Let's do a breaking news intro, and then we'll bring you guys the information. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, we come to you guys with some breaking news. Nicola Sturgeon's husband, Peter Morrell, has been rearrested again today in connection with the police investigation into SNP's finances. We have the Police Scotland spokesperson who has already come out to make a statement to the general public, and we are just bringing up this statement now. Because I think it's important to talk about this. Obviously, over the last couple of years, we've talked a lot about this SNP investigation, which has not been easy times, creating easy times for the SNP. This is what we have. The police says in Scotland, the matter remains active for the purposes of the Contempt of Court Act 1981, and the police are therefore advised to exercise caution if discussing this on social media. As the investigation is ongoing, we are unable to comment further at this time. The interesting thing about this is that this is exactly the same statement that the police in Scotland have been giving us over the last 2 years. Now, we understand the investigation is ongoing, and I've been talking about, a lot of you guys have been asking me, what happened to the SNP scandal, Maya? What happened to the police investigation, all this? And I couldn't really give you guys any update over the last year or so because it's been the same thing. And the issue with this is that the police need to give us something. And I know the police's job is not to be political or anything like that, but we need some sort of progress because a lot of people assumed until now that the matter has been, covered up. So this is Nicola Sturgeon's husband, Peter Morrell, who was until a year and a half ago, in charge of the SNP. He was a president, essentially, he was a CEO of the party, basically. And he was arrested before. And, of course, Nicola and everybody has been investigated. There was a whole story about the camper van that was parked at Nicola Sturgeon's mom's house or Peter Morrell's mom's house, one of the mother-in-law's house. And the police have been gathering all this evidence and documents and everything else. It's been over 2-3 years now. We're still waiting for more updates. But it's not going to help the SNP with the upcoming elections. So I think it's time to say congratulations to the Labour Party in Scotland, because I think they're going to be destroying the SNP now. Because it's just a bit of a reminder for the people in Scotland that this is still an ongoing matter. For those who thought that, it's fine now, didn't really get anywhere. Politically speaking, this is going to be very, very damaging for the SNP. He looks like a right pleb. Yeah, Peter Morrell, it does definitely. Look at his face. Mr. Potato Head. He looks like Mark Drakeford. Just a little bit happier. Mark Drakeford always looks grumpy and miserable. The former First Minister of Wales. I suppose at least he didn't fund Hamas with it. Yeah, he just bought camper vans, right? Such a weird scandal. What is this? If you don't know what Marxism is, you shouldn't be supporting Suella Braverman. And if you agree with Marxism, you shouldn't be in this country, or probably world. That's probably a good idea. Her husband looks weird. Yeah, but have you seen her face? She doesn't necessarily look like Fiona from Shrek when she was a normal princess. Anyway, that's just personal attacks. We don't do personal attacks and insults on this channel. Yeah, Jimmy Cranky's dad. Oh, good days. Good days. Dean says, hang on, is he doing a Nazi salute there? Is he? He does look like a very happy Nazi. Oh, no. Mein Führer in the SMP. Mine is funded by the Juden. The Jews. Yeah, nothing will happen. It's just smoke and mirrors as usual. But the police in Scotland continue to insist that they are taking this seriously. That's why they haven't cleared them. So I'm pretty confident something will happen. But in terms of punishment, it's not really just about the police investigation into these things. It's about the justice system. Even when they go to court in front of judges, they usually get away with it. Arenda says, I love your show. Congratulations on your new set. Thank you very much. This is Studio B, by the way. We're waiting for the main set to also get ready. That's going to be even better. This kind of looks like my living room, just slightly improved. But we will wait for the rest of it as well. We are filming the new shows for 2CTV Plus, all the new programs that I mentioned earlier. We're going to be doing that over the next few days. So stand by. Oh my God, it's like bald Nicola. He does actually kind of look like... It does look like Nicola Sturgeon without hair. Phil talks about the civil servant that we were talking about earlier. Suspended on full pay, no doubt. Them lot in government don't play by the same rules as the rest. Imagine if... so this whole story that we're talking about, the main topic, the corrupt and criminal civil servant who's been offering approved asylum cases to illegal migrants by asking for money, like £2,000. Even when you're being investigated, if clearly there's enough evidence, right? He's been charged. He's getting charged. If you were in a company, in a normal business, you would be fired. Like, did you not see what happened yesterday? And we talked about that earlier today. Google. You had 28 of their employees going on an anti-Jewish rant and taking over the offices, the executive offices. Google called the police, arrested them, and then fired them immediately. They didn't suspend them, fired them. If Google can do it, I think the Home Office can too. Because even if it's a grey area, whatever he did, it's still not, shouldn't be up to the standards of British civil service. It shouldn't be. Clearly, the people in charge of civil service don't really think it's a big deal, right? Carmen says, I've heard you say where to go to get the 2CTV Plus channel. I can't find it on my laptop YouTube. It's not on YouTube. Is there a link, please? Yeah. So go on 2c.tv. Go on the browser, like when you go on Google, 2c.tv or www.2c.tv. That's the main platform. Obviously, YouTube is not going anywhere. Don't freak out. We're going to be here with your breaking news, free live streams and everything else. But we're just expanding the operation because I think we have to step up our game in order to actually completely take over the media platform that the legacy media, the complacent and incompetent, corrupt and biased corporate media have been doing for some time now. And if you want to play with the big boys, we have to expand it. We have to make sure we work together because I don't want to sell out to any big money. This all stuff, everything you see has been self-funded, grassroots, through us. I basically lost all my money. I have nothing right now because I had to invest into this. And otherwise, I could have just gone to a big corporation to back me, or one of these like GB News or the other channels where they get millions and millions coming in and they make a loss every single year because they don't get viewers or advertisers. We want to make sure we do it professionally, but keep it small and keep it grassroots because we are supposed to be the people's channel and the home of hate speech. Don't forget, that's our new slogan. Let's see what else we have. Joyce says, hello from Canada. Oh, hello, Joyce. New to the channel, love it. Thanks for all your hard work. Well, thank you very much to the colonials. Come bring back the British Empire. And Nick says, support the channel however you can. At least hit the like button. Actually, that's a good idea. We have 3,000 people currently watching live and only 1,500. Literally only half of you have clicked like. How dare you? Another super chat says, appreciate the coverage as always. The Home Office want my wife and I, late 20s, to have £88,000 and a half in savings so that she can move to the UK with me, a British citizen. Yet we pay millions for illegals. We literally have such strong and strict immigration regulations and laws, especially for those who want to legally enter the country as economic migrants, to contribute, to integrate, to invest in our country. They are struggling to come in because we've kept our doors open for people who just want to skip the queue. And they are also affecting and damaging the legal ones or the relatives or whatever they are. So right now, unfortunately, my policy is we need to stop immigration for a while because you cannot really, it's not sustainable. So unfortunately, those who want to be good legal economic migrants and good real refugees, they are being affected by this mess that this government has created and the whole of the Western world in general. Michael says Tusi's mum deserves a slot after 9 p.m. obviously, mostly because of the watershed, because she's so right wing. She makes me look like a Lib Dem. She will deport everybody, basically. Anybody who says anything bad about this country. My mum, who is an actual political refugee herself from Iran, she's more nationalist than a lot of people in Britain. She will deport you if you insult the flag, for example. John Johnson says, 2C TV miles better than the mainstream media, best for the news you never get to hear otherwise. I appreciate this. That's why we're going to need your help with 2C TV Plus, obviously. Yeah, in case you missed the previous live stream, after this, go on 2C.tv. And you can see the new website, new shiny website for the channel. You can see news articles there. All the videos are also there. But also, you can register your interest to join at 2C TV Plus. And we're going to have all the different shows and programs and presenters. And your favorite, Lacey Butcher, will have a couple of shows as well. Say hi.
Hello.
That's Lacey Butcher. AFC Man UK, good reminder, 5 dates to go. Be there, London, 23rd of April, Trafalgar Square, 3 p.m. I love how people have been giving different locations for St. George's Day. This is for St. George's Day. Some people are saying 3 p.m. Trafalgar Square. The other group says 3 p.m. Parliament Square. The other people say 3 p.m. Whitehall. It's going to be a very confusing day. No one knows where to go. But I believe it's going to be around Trafalgar, the beginning of Whitehall, and then walk towards Parliament Square. Or maybe it's the other way around. I don't know. Nobody knows. And I'm supposed to be speaking, so I really should find out soon. We'll find out. Thank you for the reminder. Super chat from Laurie says, do you need a tea lady for your new office? Well, as long as you can bring me regular beer, which right now, Lacey Butcher is doing that really well. And everybody else around me. I'm just sitting here. No, I'm still going.
I'm on it.
That's the first sip I've had in 29 minutes, by the way. I'm also changing my beer every time, different lagers and stuff, so that I don't come across as biased towards one brand. Super chat from Rachel says, "Poor you, Maya, using your savings to get the real news out to us." So we thank you. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate this. It's much, but also, I know I'm like pretending that to be so moral about not selling out and not be big part of some sort of ownership that I'll be under control. It's mostly because I can't work in big teams and I can't be told what to do. I'm a contrarian. I don't do well with authority. And if you tell me what to do as an investor, I will kick off. So that's the main reason. It's not just because I'm an angel. I don't want to sell out. It's both. Sean says, will 2CTV Plus be an app I can download on my TV? That is the next plan. Depending on how many of you support it and how well it does, we can actually then also develop the app, hopefully within the next few months. And that will be the next big plan, because I think it will be good, because it will be linking YouTube and the main platform, the main website, so that hopefully you could just get direct notifications on the app, because I know YouTube notifications don't do really well usually. But I think that's going to be the best way to stay up to date with all the news stories and the news articles, breaking news, everything else we have. Common Sense Matters says you are correct. Civil service recruitment and vetting is not as it used to be. The Home Office of all places should have increasing vetting, no, not less. I know, of all places, definitely, I agree. And the Minister of Defence, for example. You can't just hire people because they have a rainbow hairstyle. It's embarrassing. And you cannot just bow down to this younger generation who just demand, like the people who were protesting in Google. They were Google employees, and they were chanting, Google, Google, you can't hide. We will charge you with genocide. Like, that's not even a right sentence. It makes no sense. None of it makes sense. Also, the whole studio is falling apart because people are walking in. I don't know what's going on in the background. But anyway, on that note, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining. And we also have a big dog. Bring the dog to say hi. This is Argo. He's not really a dog. He's more like a horse. Come up here. What are you doing? What are you doing? There we go. This, you can't. Come up. He's so big. Anyway, this is Argo. Terrifying. I don't know what's going on. This is falling apart. Behind the scenes. That's Argo. It's the office dog now. He's so big. Anyway, on that note, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Subscribe if you haven't already. You've been watching 2C TV. I'm Maya 2C, and we are the media.